And now here's your host. Amen. Welcome to the Midnight Mass Aftershow presented by Horror Movie Talk. On a normal episode, we would normally review and discuss one horror film in detail, but for this series of 8 episodes, we'll be having an opinionated and accidentally funny discussion on each episode of the Mike Flanagan production, Midnight Mass, on Netflix. Your panel of expert hosts each episode, and each week of the normal podcast are Dr. Bryce Hanson, me, I hold a PhD in spookology and fake theology, and Dr. David Day.
Hello.
Oh, Professor David Day. I'm
Yes.
sorry. You don't have a doctorate yet. You're adjunct. He's the foremost expert in scare no-nos. So, without further ado, let's get into the Midnight Mass After Show with Horror Movie Talk.
Yes, let's.
Let us pray. Dear Creator, Director, Writer, Daddy Flan, please bless this episode of the Midnight Mass After Show as we discuss Episode 5 of this masterful horror masterpiece. Bless us with the knowledge that we know what we're talking about, even though we did no research. Bless us to know your will and to know how to guide our listeners onto the path of pretentiousness. And in Kate Siegel's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. This is a good one.
Yeah.
This one. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts really turning the corner. So Riley's missing, and Aaron is searching all over the island for him. Father Paul is starting to sound more militant in his Good Friday sermon, and Mildred is appearing almost as young as her daughter at this point.
Mildred is her name.
Or Millie.
Millie.
She goes by Millie, too.
Okay, I gotcha.
We eventually find out what Riley's fate is and have some of the most emotional moments in the series. Probably like the strongest episode ending
Oh, yeah.
of the series.
Yeah, chills.
Other than the finale.
Man, the way this one ends is just... Wow.
Just a big ol' punch to the balls.
Spectacular, though.
Yeah. So, before we get into the episode, we want to mention our website, horrormovietalk.com. Please go there to meet all your horror movie talk needs. Find links to all of our social media. Check out our Facebook group. It's very active and got a lot of cool people there. We post new episodes of the regular podcast every Wednesday, so check us out there. Leave us a review and follow us and tell other people about it. If you want to leave a voicemail, call 682-253-4468. You can talk about Midnight Mass. You can talk about the regular podcast or horror movies in general. We'd love to hear from you. If you really love this after show and want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/horrormovietalk. We got a bunch of tiers that with bonus content there if you want to check us out. Thanks again for listening. Let's get into spoilers.
Amen. Spoilers.
Okay.
Where did we leave off on 4?
So
has Riley been attacked?
Riley got attacked by the angel.
Yes.
The angel of light sucked his blood.
Well, the thing you got to remember about angels is every time they appear in the Bible, people are fucking horrified.
Right.
So this all goes to This all
goes to that.
All goes to that.
So yeah, Riley is attacked after he goes back and investigates Joe's disappearance because Father Paul had lied about him visiting his sister. And Riley was like, "Wait, no, I'm not going to let this slide."
Yeah.
And he walks in on the angel pouring his blood out, and then big jump, and then camera goes black.
So I actually want to talk about this for a minute, because this is low-key the most important part of this series, really. This is the thing that allows this is the explanation that allows the whole series to take place, which is, this is an angel. Look at it. It's got wings. It's otherworldly. Mm-hmm. It's terrifying, just like all the accounts of angels in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. It's frightening.
This thing, it grants new life revisited. It grants you incredible, unnatural healing ability, and like all this kind of stuff. The whole premise of this show hinges on the fact that this is an angel,
right?
And that's just bonkers to me. It's like, that's such a brilliant thing that I assume Mike Flanagan came up with and was like, wait a minute. Let's look at what angels look like in the Bible. Horrifying. What's something horrifying and real in like the mythos of the world? I'm not going to say vampires.
Well,
but it's kind of vampire-y a little bit.
Yeah, just going off of that concept that every mention in the Bible, people are frightened of angels. It's like, you never think, like, you always think, oh, it's sudden and they're otherworldly and they're just surprised because they've never seen a bright, shiny, winged angel before.
You've never seen a fucking angel before?
Right.
What's the matter, Homer? You never seen a naked chick riding a clam before?
Everyone's envisioning, John Travolta with wings. Fluffy wings.
Is that Michael?
But that's not the case. Yeah.
Okay. Is that a Michael reference?
Yes.
Wow.
It's timely.
It's the only
timely Michael reference.
It's the only Michael reference in the last 20 years.
Be careful, also mention Phenomenon.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. You never think, oh, it's because it's fucking scary how they look.
But that's got to be it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's to say this isn't an angel?
Well, and then every time people talk, the other thing they talk about in the Bible is the appearance of God, and any time you see that, it's like, that's also frightening, because it's
holy
like,
shit! Oh my God! Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Surrounded by seraphim and like flaming swords and like many-faced beasts and stuff. It's like, huh.
On the other hand, like, that's people, like, God could impress people from like 2,000 years ago, no problem, because they were easy to impress,
Right.
It's like, these people ain't seen shit before,
Yeah, they've never seen CG.
Yeah, and so, I saw a hologram Tupac dance around and give a stage performance. Could God really be that incredible?
What if that's what God did back then? He just had access to hologram technology.
Yeah.
And a bunch of CG.
Yeah, maybe God's just Marty McFly. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're praying to the wrong person. Flanagan's. Maybe we should be praying to Marty McFly. God put some bright lights and some wavy fabric over a fan. They're like, it's a burning bush. Fuck. But the bush isn't burning. Right.
It's not being...
Anyway, all this to say, I really do love the premise behind the angel.
Right.
And, like, God works in mysterious ways, and just, like, taking all of these, like, things we would normally take for granted and just kind of just tweaking them to make it fit into this.
I just love the idea that they took a super religious themed horror movie and didn't go the demon route at all. Like, and that's what I expected up till, probably episode 3-ish.
Sure.
And they just went full vampire.
Yeah.
Just like, no, it's literally, it's a little bit of a different vampire than you're used to, but it's definitely a vampire.
That's the other thing I love about this
monster.
Series is it's like, it takes the old premise of vampire, freshens it up big time.
Right.
Makes it interesting and scary again.
Well, the other thing is, it feels like religion has been part of the vampire mythos, but it's like kind of tangential. It's like,
right.
Oh, they don't like crosses because they're anti-Christian.
Right.
Those vampires are all atheists.
Right.
They hate us. They hate us Christians.
Or Satan worshippers.
Or Satan worshippers. Sure, whatever. And so they don't like, pictures of the cross. But that's as far as it goes with religion. It's not like...
Yeah.
And this uses religion in a different way where it's like, oh, it's using it for its purposes.
Right.
It's not...
Which is exactly what devilish things would do.
Right. It's not afraid of religious iconography. It uses them.
Right. This is literally how the devil is described in the Bible, is like, oh, he's going to come to you in the thing you least expect.
Right. A wolf in sheep's clothing.
He's going to be the wolf in sheep's clothing, and he's going to get in. Yeah, these are all great, just mechanics to make this whole thing pop off. So let's get into the episode.
You never really see wolves in sheep's clothing. You never see wolves in clothing of any sort, really. It's not really that much of a threat.
No.
To sheep's.
Not really, no.
To sheep.
Yeah, and but you do see dogs in sheep's clothing. They have those dog breeds that look just like sheep, and then they fucking annihilate the wolves.
Okay.
They put these spiky collars on them so the wolves can't get they can't get a throat grip on them.
Nice.
These dogs are 200 pounds and just ripping. Sorry, anyway.
Okay. Anyway, so it starts out, Riley's family is like, where's Riley? Probably with Miss Green.
Yeah.
And
they're kind of all good for him.
Yeah. And Miss Green is like, where's Riley? And the family's like, not here.
But I thought he was with Dad.
They're like the Spider-Man pointing at each other.
Yeah.
So, and then it cuts to Mildred, the old lady, and that's the biggest transformation in the series, between last episode and this, with Mildred. She
went from 50 to 35.
Right. And there's a thing, okay, this is me being nitpicky, but did you notice, how they treat the hair with this? I understand the de-aging of the face and wrinkles disappearing, but it doesn't make sense that their hair is going darker.
Okay.
Because the hair follicles are dead. They can't be restored. They're already dead, right?
No, but they're being revitalized. They're being re-alivened.
Yeah, but you can't...
You're saying she would have to have a dye job.
Yeah,
to
but specifically,
the hair...
Mildred's hair is, in this episode, is grayer at the root and then darker...
At the tip.
That
shit happens with gray hair. They go gray in funky ways. I feel like it's like each follicle kind of sputters. It's like,
well, no, how it goes is you either have it dyed or you have it dark, and then as it grows, it goes gray. So you see gray at the root, and then
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm saying if they were revitalized, if they turned younger, they would have dark roots. That's all I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. Is maybe her hair's growing really fast, and when my hairs go gray, they kind of go gray brown for a while.
I would like proof of that.
You'd have to be with me in my morning routine in front of the mirror going, how the shit did this happen?
I want to see
with gray on the tip and brown towards the follicle. Yeah, it happens.
I want to see that. I don't believe it.
Well, grow your beard out. I guarantee you'll see it.
All right. Well, it's a little nitpicky thing. It was but it doesn't matter. It's what matters is communicated that they're younger now, and this is what a younger version of that looks like. So a lot of people are getting a little suspicious that there's no morning mass, and there hasn't been for a while. And the groundskeeper Willie's like, no, it's normal. Don't worry about it. He's not feeling great. He'll feel better tonight in the darkness. Just come at night. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Then Aaron eventually reports Riley missing, and there's
very small town vibes.
Yeah,
during this report,
and
he's like, so he was supposed to come over, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, and she was like, he is supposed to come over, all right, where else is he gonna be? There's 100 people on this island. Can you?
Right. And he didn't go off island.
Right.
He didn't go to the mainland. So it's like, there's 5 places he could be, and he's not there.
Right.
So, missing person.
Right.
But it's really interesting how it frames it, because the sheriff asked to his state of mind, and you realize, like, oh, they talked about death a lot, like,
right
before he disappeared.
State of mind, huh? Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
That's right. We did have that talk.
He didn't seem afraid of death. He was very interested in talking about it, though. You know, he really went on and on about death.
Okay, well, I will fill out that report.
So that night during Mass is the Good Friday, and Father Paul is like, special night, boys.
Oh, I read that. I read that differently. I had a comment there.
Huh.
Special night boys. I was like, what the fuck is this? Your note says, to me, reads special night boys. I was like, ew.
That's a different priest. So they have Good Friday and a very fiery sermon about the gospel, and really starts...
You're my army.
So between this episode and next, Father Paul kind of transitions into more of a televangelist. Very fiery and exaggerated, and much more extreme in the message. So he's talking about how, you know, they're God's army, it's a war, it's God's kingdom, and then he starts talking about how God asks you to do horrible things sometimes, but it's God, so it's good.
Again,
it's
this is the thing that I love about this series, is like so perfectly correct.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, God works in mysterious ways. He asks horrible things. Like, do you think Moses had a good time? No. Do you think Noah had a good time? No. If you're getting talking to God, you're up for some shit. And guess what? We're up for some shit. Like, buckle up.
And he talks about specifically how morality changes, you know? And so it's all in service of what's to come. Like, and it's very obvious in this episode, even though you don't know what happens in the next episode. It feels very sus, you know? Uh-huh. So you're thinking, like, what's he up to? And you know that he's, like, you know, been turned, and I think it's insinuated that this is going to be part of the plan, as like turning the island. Yeah. And so it's preparing them for, like, you know, God wants you to be vampires, and, you know, you got to go with it. It's God's will, you know. Back in the Old Testament, there was different morality. God told people to, commit genocide, but it was good. And then the new covenant came, and that changed, and you're able to teach the gospel to Gentiles. And
well, this is the new covenant.
This is the new covenant. Gotta get that new.
Just let me taste you one time. Hey, that works really well. Yeah. Just let me taste you.
Where are we? And then he ends with, like, we're going to do great things. And it was very, like, the end of that it felt very Jordan Belfort. Like from...
from Wolves of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to do great things. You got... Oh, man, that's such a good movie.
Yeah. Mildred's reaction to it was not good. She was like, this is not good.
Yeah, she was like...
No, David. Honestly, David, it's like a witch's house in here, David.
It's like a witch's house in here.
So she tells her daughter...
Aaron.
Not Aaron.
The doctor.
Yeah. Doctor... Hold on. Drum roll.
No.
Drum roll.
We all know who she is. She's the doctor.
Sarah Gunning.
Yeah.
That she is not to go back to church.
Yeah, don't go back there.
Which is probably something that you would love to hear as, like, an atheist lesbian. You know?
Yeah.
She'd be like,
oh, finally.
Okay, good.
Ugh.
Remember when you told me not to go to church? Like, I'm living by your wish. Riley shows up.
Yeah, finally.
To Aaron.
He shows up, and Aaron's like, "What the? Where have you been?"
And this is basically the last half of the episode is him taking her out on a boat, as one does with your lady.
It's very ominous.
Yeah,
because we are
because of the implication.
Right, because they're out on a boat. Holy shit, this is a direct Always Sunny reference. This is exactly an Always Sunny reference.
She's looking away. I mean, where is she going to go?
We're going to have sex because of the implication.
Yeah, she can't. I mean,
what's I'm
what's
confused.
She gonna do?
What's the implication? Well, we're on
implication that things are going to go wrong for her.
If she doesn't.
But
they won't. But she thinks they might.
Yeah. Sounds like you want to rape this girl.
No! You're confusing this.
I wouldn't because of the implication.
I wouldn't. I don't have to because of the implication.
So he takes her out on the boat, and then the last half of the episode is him explaining what happened to him, which is, last we saw him, he got attacked by an angel that sucked his blood. I can't remember if it showed him. Yeah, it showed him his neck getting sucked, and I can't remember if it showed Father Paul partaking or not.
I wish it had. I wish we had that soundbite of suck that echoes. But yeah, no, he definitely got vamped. He got turned into an angel, or
yeah. So he tells the story of what he's been doing since then,
right.
Which is basically being, Father Paul attempting to indoctrinate him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is fine.
Yeah, and the reason he didn't show up during the day is he's a vampire now.
Right.
He was killed by the vampire, brought back to life as a vampire, and now...
Yeah, he went outside and started burning immediately, and Father Paul's like, yeah, so that's not a mistake you're going to make again.
Yeah, I got this. Just come back inside.
So, okay, couple things to talk about here is how salty Bev is that Riley got turned.
Oh, man.
She was so...
This is the best episode because Bev gets it in so many different ways.
Right.
She's just, oh, God, I hate Bev so fucking much.
Bev's like, you've been chosen. You.
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 The outcast
of all people.
Alcoholic. You. And I'm still here, just normal old Bev.
But it's God's will. So, welcome to the fold.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Wait, is it? It must be next episode that Bev gets the talking to by Riley's mom.
I don't even think it's next episode. It's after that.
Oh, it's the 7th. Okay.
Yeah. And then she kind of berates him because he's she says you sit there with this
sad.
They're blessed among men, and you're smirking. It's she's so mad that he doesn't appreciate that he's been turned into a vampire.
She's like, I've been waiting for this for ages.
Yeah. Before that, I guess is where Father Paul is really, they have kind of the AA meeting where he's like, all right, this is what it is now.
Right.
And, that he talks about,
I mean,
all the horrible things that Father Paul has done and is going to do, that he doesn't feel guilty about it because it's God's will. And he asks Riley, how do you feel about that? And he has to push him a couple times, but then it shows Riley saying that he's jealous, that he can feel absolved of, his sins and all in the service of saying every bad thing that you've done, and the entire reason that you're here on this island now being that you killed a girl in a drunk driving accident, went to jail and came back and are destitute right now, all serves God's purpose of getting you here at this moment to be his disciple.
Right.
And so you shouldn't feel bad about any of that because it was all part of God's plan. And Father Paul is so confident in his ability to rationalize what happened to him and the horrible things that he's kind of planning on doing, that it's all from God, that he feels spotless. And he puts that to Riley of like, how does that make you feel? And at first Riley's like, makes me angry, and
it's crazy.
And he keeps pushing.
It's
and
crazy because
says,
Father Paul sees right through him.
Yeah.
And
he keeps pushing, and it finally says that he's jealous of it. Because who wouldn't want that? That's the thing. Like, when I see people that believe in something so strongly and have like such a strong world vision, whether it's mine or not, or whether I think they're completely wrong, I try to look into their perspective, and I see it as like they know they're right. And they are perfectly confident. They never doubt themselves. And I'm so jealous of that.
Okay, this is my bottom line with narcissists. Is like, I'm like, okay, they're horrible and they're terrible and they do terrible stuff. But really, at the core of it, I'm fucking so jealous. Because they are the best. And it doesn't matter what you think. To them, they're the best. And to have that kind of confidence in yourself makes me so jealous.
Right.
Because I'm not the best. I'm the worst.
It's one of those things of people that have never lived a, like, considered life. They're like, they never stop and think about themselves. It seems
like the best.
Like, yeah, I'm jealous of that.
Oh, man, me too. Big time.
I wish I could just stop the voices and stop, like, talking about how horrible I am to myself.
I know.
Just, like, say, like, no, I'm right.
Yeah. And that is really what I'm angry about, is the jealousy that I feel for these people who feel as though they're vindicated all the time at whatever they do, because it's like, man.
So I mean, it's like people like Bev. It's like,
what a Scotch Brite life, man.
Yeah, I'm so angry that people like her exist and are like, self-righteous,
poisoning dogs and just like, fuck it. I know I'm right.
But I'm also very jealous of Bev that, like, I wish I could be that. I wish I could
do what I want wantonly and never have to answer to myself. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, and it shows like the absolute hunger for blood that turned people have
through Riley now,
because like he puts the father puts Bev right in front of him and he like lunges at her and tries to suck her blood. You
could tell she was kind of into it. She's like, hell yeah, it's about to happen. Oh baby,
can you choke me a little while you do it?
You pull that hair. And I know I've said this a lot, but this is just another way that this series is so great, is that it takes that, like, that Bible thing of like, you're about to do horrible things and it's okay.
Right.
Because it's ordained by God.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. It's brilliant. Every part of this makes so much sense.
Right. And it's the best part of it is well-meaning people thinking that they're doing the right thing. Like, in terms of, especially Father Paul. Like,
yeah, they're clean in their head.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah. And, okay. And then at the end, they basically perform the sacrament of communion with Groundskeeper Willie's blood.
Yeah. Serge?
I have no idea what his name is. He's Groundskeeper Willie to me.
Yeah.
Okay. And, the priest actually does like the communion prayer. It's very much a sacrament. And then, Riley laps it up, sucks it all down, and with Father Paul reassuring him that it's a good thing. And Father Paul asks him if he feels at peace, now that he's drank blood, and Riley nods. So he's like, it's one of those situations where it's like, God damn it. Like, I don't want this person to be right, but also I can't deny how I feel right now,
Right.
Because of, my nature.
There's this weird element of like, addiction, right? So
Right.
with Riley, he's an addict in recovery. He knows it. And he knows to feel bad about this new urge that's like so compelling and
Right.
must feel exactly the same as like the urge to drink,
or much worse, because he's like,
or
in
much
pain.
worse. Yeah. And so like there's this compounded guilt that Riley will feel over this, that doesn't seem to be echoed in Father Paul.
And then Father Paul lets him leave, and Bev's like, "You sure? You shouldn't
Trust
just
is part of
stay
this whole
here."
thing. Yeah, that. I'm glad you brought that up, because this is really critical. This binary that you just described, Bev being like, no trust. We do not trust Riley. We don't trust anybody. And Father Paul being like, no, trust is a huge part of this. Because Father Paul really truly believes that this is God's will, and Bev really truly believes that you can't trust these people, and that no, this is a power grab, and this is our power grab. And so that's an interesting binary too, because that plays itself out later.
Right.
So
And the implication is that he is to go out and spread the gospel, or turn people that deserve it.
yeah, he's to be an apostle.
He goes around, has vampire vision, which is all not super impressive.
It's exactly what I knew it was going to be.
It's like that.
Put the sparkly lens on the.
Yeah, put the sparkly lens like that. Like when you get, when you went to OMSI, did you ever go to OMSI and go into the gift shop and they had like the Geordie glasses that had just kind of rainbow
little haze.
lens
Yeah,
on
sure. If anybody who's listening won't probably know what OMSI is unless they're from the Portland area. It's the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry. And it's like one of these.
It's like an interactive hands-on.
Yeah, learning museum kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, Geordie LaForge glasses.
Yeah, have like the little rainbow halo on stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what vampire vision is. Like you could really just like avoided that just by getting those glasses from OMSI.
Yeah, just pass out the OMSI glasses.
Yeah.
But this is Crockett Island. There's no OMSI out there.
True. That is so true.
So now we get back to who he's been telling this story to the whole time.
So on Erin, she's on the boat. She's looking around. She has nowhere to go.
Because she's on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
And she's like, "Why did you bring me out here?" And Riley says, "Because of the implication." He says, he doesn't tell her why he brought her out there.
He's
really.
like, a little taste. Let me get a little taste of that neck, baby.
And Erin says that I'm not scared of you. And Riley basically says, "I knew you wouldn't believe any of this unless I showed you." And as the sun is rising,
this is all the dreams he's had up until this point of him sitting in that boat, him seeing that girl, and then sitting in that boat. I'm like, what is this? What is this about? And it's all coming too.
And so the sun finally rises, and it shows Riley looking at this girl that he's seen in his like night terrors of this girl that he killed drunk driving, and instead of being filled with shards of glass reflecting off police lights, it's her completely restored. She's happy, she's smiling at him. Jump cut to him burning on fire and into like ash, and Erin screaming.
Very, very, very Saint Maud moment.
Yes, very, very Saint Maud.
If you like this series, Midnight Mass, you need to go watch Saint Maud. It is a lot of similar religious elements, a lot of like same kind of thing as this. Not a lot of hand holding, real interesting stuff. Compelling.
Definitely a little slower than this, but it's very.
I don't know. It packed it all into 2 hours. This is gonna be a 7-hour series.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. You say slower. It
feels like there's more.
Seems like it's twice.
Well,
as fast.
Saint Maud is literally like one character.
Yeah.
And this is like 8.
Fair enough.
And lots of stuff happens. Anyways. And I love during the credits, like she's crying into the credits.
that's crazy. So that's a thing that happens throughout the whole series. Whatever it ends on, it ends. There's no music at the end most of the time. I think there might be once or twice, but mostly it's like if the show ends with like water lapping against a boat, that's what you hear throughout the credits. And this, her shrieks of like as he's disintegrating, that moment is burned into my mind. Like,
yeah,
that was so perfect. Like I want to do it more justice.
And the effect of him burning up is so great because it's like he's already a charred skeleton by the time it cuts back. You know, he's like just gone.
Can you imagine witnessing that? Just the sun comes up and then like, holy fucking crap! Like, whoa!
Yeah,
whoa,
the person that you love burns up in front of you. That would,
that
would leave a mark. That would leave a mark. Especially right after they declared their love for each other, and then immediately. You know. That's pretty rough. So that's our episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Again, please subscribe and leave a rating on Apple Podcasts for this podcast. Share the after show with a friend, anyone that you know that's watching Midnight Mass on Netflix at work or friends or family.
Look, that's huge. And you know, guys, this is a free show that we produce, just kind of out of the kindness of our hearts and out of the love of the game. You know, we really like doing this. So if you can support the podcast by sharing it, that helps us out a lot because we would really like to grow it into something huge.
Yeah, sharing is caring. Speaking of caring, we really care about our resident artist, Dustin Goebel, so we want to mention him. He's a professional artist, and you can take commissions for artwork from fans of the show or anyone else too. Contact him on Instagram at dgoebel00. That's at DGOEBEL00. Make your artistic dreams come true. We will see you next time. Go with
Flanagan.
Go with Flanagan.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the flippity flop.
Flip flop. Bye bye.